Howdy, gang. Hope everyone's doing all right. Josh here with another science lesson. You guys thought you were going to get out of the science lessons while this was going on. You thought wrong. Today, we are going to be talking about electric guitars and how they work. With me, I have my electric guitar. This guy here, the brand is a Schecter Ultra 3. And this is what they look like. There are all kinds of different guitar models with different names from different brands. A lot of popular ones, you may have heard of Stratocaster or Les Paul. Those are some of the more popular ones. This is a little out of the ordinary, and that's why I like it. I can explain a little bit of the hardware, which is what makes it an electric guitar versus an acoustic guitar. Like other guitars, it has a neck. This is where you put your fingers to actually make the notes. You have a tuning head. This is what you use to make sure your guitar is in tune. You want to make sure your guitar is in tune every time you play. Luckily, I tuned it before I started filming so that I didn't have to waste time. So those are typical of all guitars. What makes an electric guitar different is these right here. These are called electric pickups. They are what are called electromagnets that pick up the vibration of the string, and the pickup converts it into an electric signal. And that signal, sorry, trying to get my face in here. The signal travels from the pickup through wires into well, first into the switches to make sure that it knows whether or not it's on or off. Each of these pickups have its own switches. And then it goes into the volume and tone selection knobs, which are these guys right here. This is how, one of the many ways that you can determine how loud and what kind of tone your sound is going to have. And from there, it travels through this port into, I have a cord right here. Pretty much just a giant version of like a headphone jack that you plug into your phone when you want to listen to stuff in your headphones. But it's a great big version of that. You plug it into your guitar, and then once everything is turned on, I'll show you guys in a minute what it sounds like. But that is basically the hardware of an electric guitar. That's what makes it different. You may be asking what this thing is. This is what we call a tremolo arm. Some places like Fender, you may have heard it called a whammy bar. It's pretty much the same thing. I'll show you guys once I turn the amp on what it actually does. It's pretty cool. But that is the difference between an electric guitar and an acoustic guitar, such as this. With an acoustic guitar, it has a much bigger just body in general, and it has the sound hole right here, and that's what actually is making the sound, is letting the vibrations really fill up the wood in the guitar, and that's how you get your nice, rich, full sound. In an electric guitar, because they are so thin, there's no way and there's no sound hole. That's why you have all this electronic equipment and plug it into an amplifier that looks like that. Alright guys, so this is a pedal board. This is where you get all your cool effect sounds, and that's what really gives the electric guitar its electric guitar sound. So that cord that I was using, that travels from the guitar, it's right here, and it goes all the way around. This is a long cord. It goes into this. This is a wah pedal. I'm going to turn it all on and show you guys what it looks like, but I wanted to explain each one a little bit first. This is a wah pedal, and I'm just going to show you guys. So this is what we call an echo or a delay pedal that makes it really, like, it makes it sound like it's in a great big, like in the gym, for example. It would sound like I'm playing guitar in the gym. This is a chorus pedal. This basically like doubles the input. So it basically like takes the sound and doubles it, and it makes it like just a really big sound. This is an envelope filter, and that kind of does the same thing that the wah pedal does. But this one does it automatically, and I'm honestly not entirely sure how it works yet. So that one I will not be messing around with today, but I can give you guys a little bit of an explanation out to what it does. This one is very important. This is what we call a compressor. This makes sure that the sound you are creating, A, isn't too loud, and B, isn't too garbled by all of the effects that you put on it. Once you start adding different sounds one by one, it starts to add up, and the amp can really distort it a lot and make it sound not that great. So this compressor really does a good job of making sure that doesn't happen. These two guys are the main, what I would say are the main rock and roll sounds. This one is what we call an overdrive pedal. This just kind of makes it sound like the amplifier is as loud as it can be, so it has like a really grainy and distorted sound, but it's not like a heavy metal grungy. I'll show you guys the difference in a sec here. And the difference between these two is that this one is really the metal. This is where you hear, this is the kind of stuff that like Metallica uses, or Pantera for you metalheads. So that is really the whole pedal board. Alright gang, now we have talked about the guitar, we have talked about the pedal board, we've talked about the amplifier a little bit. Now we can go ahead and put the whole thing together. I'm going to turn the amplifier on. The amplifier runs on things called vacuum tubes, which were used a lot in like TVs from the old days. And they just take a minute to warm up, so we're going to give them a minute to do that. Like I was saying before, each of these pickups has their own on and off switch. I'm going to just switch the middle one on so that it's not too loud. So now the guitar is on, the amplifier is on, and that means we have a clean signal. Because I don't have any of the pedals on, that means the signal chain is completely clean. When I say signal chain, I'm talking about that signal driven from the pickups through the cable into the amplifier. Or in this case, into the pedals, into the amplifier. So, like I was saying before, all of these pedals do pretty unique and really cool things. I'm going to turn on the overdrive pedal. That's probably the one that I use the most. So it has a really gritty but still relatively clean sound, so you can really play like rock and roll and blues on it, but it's not like hard rock or metal. So I'll play a little bit of funk for you. So that's just a good example of the kinds of sound that you can get out of an overdrive pedal. I usually use the overdrive pedal with all the other pedals in combination because it just sounds so good. One of my other favorites is the delay pedal. That makes it sound really echoey, like in a dance hall or like in the gym, like I said earlier. Turn that one on and you hear already. It's a good echoey sound, right? That's just another good example of what these types of pedals are capable of. Each of these pedals has a bunch of different knobs and switches so that you can really play around with the sound and see what works best for you and what your individual songs are, what you're trying to achieve. So turn the delay pedal off. We also have a chorus pedal. The chorus pedal kind of makes it sound like there are two guitars playing the same notes. So I'll give you a good example of that. Riff that I like to play. So it's just another good example of, again, what these little boxes are capable of. It's pretty cool. One of the last pedals I'm going to show you guys is the fuzz pedal. This is the one that really makes it sound like metal or grunge. You can make it sound like Nirvana, like it's a lot heavier than the. That's just with the overdrive pedal, but with the fuzz on top of it, it's pretty intense. And very last, we have the wah pedal. The wah pedal is a little tricky to use because you need to have your foot on it the whole time. But that's the one that kind of makes it almost sounds like the guitar is talking to you. I'll give you it here. So it's very associated with funk and funky sounds. You'll hear Parliament Funkadelic use this, James Brown, Bill Withers, who we did with the choir. and just a lot of other very talented musicians. So that is the basic pedal board. Obviously, different musicians will do different things. This is the combination that I like the most. This allows me to do what I like to do, but each guitarist does their own thing. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out. We will obviously be in touch as soon as we get back to day program. I would love to do an in-person lesson, a little more in-depth as to electric guitar and electric sounds in general. I hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Hope everyone takes care.